Hello friends, welcome back again today to another Money Talk lesson. This is lesson number 21 in our 31 Facts of the Law of the Seed, and I've got one for you today that's really exciting. This may be one of my favorite ones of all. I want you to really grab a hold of this. Lesson number 21 is this fact: nothing leaves heaven until something leaves the earth. Now, this lesson is very powerful. I want you to listen closely. I'll unpack it. You can't make withdrawals unless you have made deposits. You can't reap where you have not sown. You cannot receive a dividend if there has not been an investment. So in a spiritual context, nothing leaves heaven unless something leaves the earth. Now, here's the Bible reference, and this is so applicable to our Family First kingdom context. We have a kingdom revelation context here at Family First, and so this is Matthew 16:19, very familiar. Behold, I give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Now, that's a very powerful verse, but it's even more powerful when we really understand it in the kingdom revelation context. Here's two or three keys about this verse. First of all, it mentions keys to the kingdom. Keys to understanding how the kingdom functions, keys to understanding how the kingdom is released, keys to understanding how the conditions of the heavenly kingdom are brought down to this earthly colony. And then here's the key: whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose in earth shall be loosed in heaven. Here's a literal rendering of that verse from the Greek text. I learned this many, many years ago from a great Bible teacher that's very prominent in my life. He quotes that this way: whatsoever things you bind on earth shall have been bound in heaven. Whatsoever things you loose on earth shall have been loosed in heaven. Now, I want you to really help you see this. The only reason that we have the ability to bind and loose on the earth is because these things have already been bound and loosed in heaven. Now, how many of us have always said, and it's okay to say this, and I've said it too, but we say, Satan, I bind you in the name of Jesus. And we usually get into a real religious voice. We use our R.W. Schambach imitation. I bind you in the name of Jesus. And that's good. And we can do that. But the only reason we can do that on the earth is because that name of Satan has already been bound in heaven. The only thing we can loose on the earth is those things that have already been loosed in heaven. So if I want a seed to manifest in my life on the earth, it can only do so if it has already been loosed in the manifestation of heaven. And nothing leaves heaven unless something leaves the earth. My seed is what authorizes that loosing of my harvest in heaven, and then my harvest from the heavenly kingdom is dispensed and comes down here to this earthly colony. Let me quote this verse again, and I want you to always remember this. Whatsoever things you bind on earth shall have been bound in heaven, and whatsoever things you loose on earth shall have been loosed in heaven. We can bind and loose here because of the authority of what is already bound and loosed in heaven. We bind sickness, we bind disease, we bind infirmity because Jesus gives that authority in heaven. We also loose provision, we loose harvests, we loose our miracles because God has given us that provision to bring what's loosed in heaven down to the earthly environment. So I'm really excited about that one. Nothing leaves heaven unless something leaves the earth. I'll talk to you soon. God bless you.